Welcome to our YouTube channel, and in today's video we are going to study about types of novel in English literature. So let's have a look into its definition first. The term novel refers to a fictitious prose narrative or tale of a lengthy plot that presents a picture series of a real or imaginary life. Now, in the plot of title, there can be two conditions that it can be based, or whether it can be based on events from real life or it can be completely imaginary. Let's delve into the further properties of novel. Novel is quite similar to short story, but there is a major difference that distinguish between a novel and a short story, which is length. As as the term itself says, short story is quite shorter in length, while on the other hand, novel is longer and much more elaborative. Like there is elaborative explanation of events in novel. Now, let's see from where this word novel has come. The word novel has come from the word novella. This word was first applied by Boccaccio for his tales written in the 14th century in Italy. Though it started in 14th century, the novel became popular in the second half of 18th century. There are many types of novel in English literature, but we will see the most important ones. First, we have an autobiographical novel. So this type of novel is based on a life of the author. Like author explains the events from his own life or the events inspired by his life. We have David Copperfield as the best example of autobiographical novel, and it is written by Charles Dickens. The Gothic novel. The Gothic novel is also called horror novel, and they were developed in the second half of 18th century. Now this was the time when novel became popular, so we can say that Gothic novels are the most basic or first form of novels. Uh, a Gothic novel is a genre of fiction characterized by elements of horror, mystery, and supernatural, often set in atmospheric old world locations like castles, mansions, or abandoned churches. The typical features of Gothic novel include dark settings, supernatural or paranormal events, emphasis on emotion, fear and anxiety, mystery, secrets and suspense, and theme of love, death, and human psyche. We have Castle of Otranto by Horace Walpole as best example of a Gothic novel because it covers all the mentioned properties of Gothic novels. An epistolary novel is a novel in which the plot of the novel develops through the medium of letters, like characters write letters to each other, and this is how the story proceeds. Pamela by Richardson is example of epistolary novel. The Picaresque novel. Now, the word picaresque has come from a Spanish word picaro, which means rascal. So, in Picaresque novel, there is a rough or bad character as hero. In modern running terms, we can call it a red flag. And in this type of fiction, the adventures of a rough or vagabond protagonist are explained or shown, and it is shown that how he comes across a number of characters equally bad during his wandering journey from place to place. Tom Jones by Henry Fielding is a good example of it. Social realism novel. Social or sociological novels deal with the nature, function, and effect of the society which the character inhabit, and often for the purpose of effecting reform. Now, social issues are highlighted in this sort of novel. Like social issues came to the forefront with the condition of labor in the Industrial Revolution and later in the Depression at the time of Industrial Revolution. Dickens' Hard Times and Gaskell's Mary Barton are examples of social realism novel. Domestic novel. As its name says, domestic novels present the day-to-day life of a middle-class family and its relation with friends and neighbor. Now, Jane Austen, who is one of the most famous writers in the English literature, she mostly writes domestic novels, and the best example of her novels is Pride and Prejudice. There is also a movie uh, based on this novel with the same title. If you are into watching movies, you must have watched it. If not, you must go and watch. The psychological novel. A psychological novel is a type of fiction that focuses on the inner lives, thoughts, feelings, and motivation of its characters. Now, this one thing, like inner world of a character, this is generally remained hidden in the mind of characters, but the psychological novel highlights them, and it explores the human psyche, delving into the themes like mental health, emotional struggles, and the complexities of human relationship. This type of novel is also known as stream of consciousness, and The Turn of the Screw by Henry James is example of it. Historical novels. Now, a historical novel is a type of fiction that is set in a specific historical time period, often featuring historical events, figures, or settings. These novels aim to recreate the past, exploring the lives and experiences of people from bygone eras. Historical novels reconstruct a past age, often when the two cultures are in conflict, where fictional characters interact with historical figures in actual events. Sir Walter Scott is considered as father of historical novel, and his series of novel, the Waverley novels from 1814 to 1819, and his other novel, Ivanhoe evokes the atmosphere of vanished era. Mystery novel. The mystery genre is the type of fiction in which the detective or other professional solves a crime or series of crimes. It can also be appeared as a novel of short story. This genre is called as a detective novel. Example: Dan Brown's novel The Da Vinci Code. Science fiction. Science fiction is a type of literature that deals with inventive technologies, futurism, space travel, exploration, and other science-based components. Now, science fiction texts are often set in future, in space, on a different world, or in a different universe or dimension. Here are some examples for a science fiction novel, like George Orwell's 1984 and Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. Bildungsroman novel or coming of age novel. Bildungsroman is a German word for novel of education or novel of formation, and it is a story that traces the moral and psychological growth of its protagonist over time, with a focus on the trials and misfortunes that affect the character's growth. Some Here was an example of Bildungsroman novel, which is Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. This was all about our today's video. Hope so you liked it. If you have any question, you may ask in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe and share our channel. Thank you very much.